I think it's safe to say that none of us really like nosy people, but what happens when you find yourself becoming one of them? I'll have some tips for you in this video. How's it going, reinventors? My name is Amelia Sims. This is Reinventing You, the channel where you can be inspired to take your own reinventing journey so that you can live a life of joy, fulfillment, and purpose. I post twice a week and I need your help. Please watch this video all the way to the end. And if you do, there is a bonus tip right after the end screen. One of my most popular videos is a video on avoiding nosy people or dealing with nosy people. In fact, I've done a couple more videos about dealing with nosy people. For one thing, when I rewatched the video, I realized there was one point that I made in there that I thought, well, I think really you need to do this instead, because just from my experience. One thing that I have done is I have realized in my lifetime, there are occasions where I find myself becoming sort of like one of those nosy people. And it's not something that I really like about myself. And I bet that you have experienced that as well. I wanted to give you 5 reminders or 5 tips to help you when you feel like you're becoming one of those nosy people that we really don't like to deal with. All of these thoughts came about because I thought about my mother. Now, my mother is deceased. She died a couple of years ago, but she was a very curious person. She was always asking people these private questions that really she had no business knowing the answer to. And then usually what would happen is she would make some sort of judgment about that or about them, usually telling me or another family member about it later on. And I realized that those are traits that sometimes I find in myself, and I don't really like that. I really want to be able not to do that. These are the ways, these are 5 tips that I have found to stop myself becoming like my mother and being a nosy person. The first reminder so that you don't become a nosy person is to stop comparing yourself to others. This is because when you start comparing yourself to others, then you try to find out more information about them, things that you have no business knowing and things that, you don't need to know. When you start comparing yourself, that's when you find yourself in the danger zone. So stop comparing yourself to others. The second tip to not becoming a nosy person is to have self-confidence. Have confidence in yourself. Be confident in yourself because you know you have the ability. You have the strength. You have the courage. You can do it. And you just sometimes have to tell yourself, I can do it. I will trust myself and my own instincts. Sometimes you do need help, but I mean, you should try to have confidence in yourself. Having confidence in yourself helps you become less of a nosy person. The third way to stop becoming a nosy person is change yourself. Don't try to change somebody else. A lot of times this happens when we're in relationships, especially a significant other. We try to change them rather than change ourselves. And a lot of times that leads us down the rabbit hole, and it's not a good place to be. When you are finding yourself becoming nosy and wanting to know more about somebody else, think about yourself. Think about things that you need to change or stop doing or start doing. Work on yourself, not on somebody else. It will help you to stop being a nosy person. The fourth way to stop being a nosy person is to be yourself. And I know that is something we sometimes tell children to do, to be yourself, don't worry. Or if you're going into a job interview, be yourself, don't try to be somebody else. But it's true. When you are yourself, you're not as worried about other people. You're going to be less nosy about them, and you're going to be more concerned about yourself rather than the other people. So be yourself. It'll help you be a less nosy person. The fifth way to stop being a nosy person is to stop judging other people. You don't know where a person has been. You don't know how far they've had to walk or what kind of shoes they've been wearing. You don't know what's going on with them. So stop judging them. A lot of times when we're nosy about people, it's a part of being judgmental. And I think that was true, especially for my mother, because of all of these things that I've just talked about. I think she did not have confidence in herself. She always compared herself to others, that she wasn't herself sometimes. And so she would be nosy about other people and wanting to judge them. And a lot of times if we want to know more about, we're actually getting more ammunition for our judgment and being judgmental. So stop being judgmental. How about you? Have you ever found yourself becoming nosy, becoming judgmental, not being yourself, not having confidence, comparing yourself to others, and also trying to change others rather than changing yourself? If this has happened to you, if you have found yourself being a nosy person, the kind that we all hate to be around, please in the comments below say, I admit it, I sometimes am a nosy person. If you were a nosy person, what did you do? How did you overcome that? Is there one of these things that you did? Or maybe there's an additional tip that you can give. I am glad that you watched this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out these other videos that I have filmed all about nosy people. And here's the bonus tip. Just say, wait a minute, I don't want to be a nosy person. Sometimes that does it, like when I say, oh wait, I'm sounding like my mother. I don't want to be like my mother. Have a great one.